Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. So excited to have our author and owner of Jane B. Lee LLC joining us here. Yes, Good Books by Jane B. Lee. That's BLEE.com. We're so excited to have our author here of 7 novels, working on the 8th, and so much more. So first and foremost, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much. I am doing great. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
So you hail from Columbus, Ohio, correct?
Well, I live in Columbus, Ohio. I have lived in 13 states and had houses in 8 of them, I think.
Oh my
I
goodness.
finally settled down.
Well, we cannot wait to get to know you and the work you do. And first and foremost, would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself? I know I read a story when you were younger about you being confined to the bed for 3 weeks. Could you share a little bit about that? Is that where the love of passion of writing and reading came from?
Yes, well, yes, I really do think it was because when I was, confined to bed, um, I started reading, and Mom brought all of the novels from Hemingway. I wanted to read Hemingway. I read all of his novels and really liked the writing. And so later on, Mom encouraged me to write short stories, to write a short
Aw.
story. So I did. And so by the time I was in, what was it, sixth grade, I think was my teacher, Mrs. Nelson, read one of my short stories to the class.
Oh,
Then
wow.
I was totally hooked at that point, just kept writing and reading. So,
Was anyone else an avid reader or writer in the family? Who was your mentor?
geez, I never thought of that. I didn't have a mentor. I'm like the only one.
Wow,
Nobody else
amazing.
Nobody else I know of in either of my dad's family or my mom's family were writers. I don't know.
Wow. All right. Well, we're excited to have you here. We're going to get to know you and, of course, talk about the work that you do. So go to Books by Jane, BLEE, and let's get started. How did you even start as an author? Could you share your journey here from the love of the book to starting to write? Would love to hear the whole journey.
Okay, I've traveled a lot. I'm an environmental specialist,
Wow.
and I have 2 patents to measure pollution coming out of large smokestacks.
Oh, my
So that
goodness.
allowed me to travel around the world to 62 different countries. And so while I'm flying, sometimes for 2 days, seems like I would be writing. So eventually that's broke into starting my first novel.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was, I didn't start as a novel, it started as a short story. Then it went to chapter 2, then 3, then 4. So it eventually became a book. And I got that one published. I think it was published in 2015 or something. I started in about 2010. It took me about 5 years to get it published. I made every possible mistake and learned to get them fixed. So
Wow.
that's how the first novel came out. And after that, it was just I felt like doing the next novel.
Of course
And
you did.
and I got carried away. It was 140,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
So it was called The Red Bitch's Revenge. But Amazon would not let me advertise bitches. At the same time, they were advertising The Bitch Is Gone by Elton John,
Oh, of course. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. What discrimination?
So then I came out, rewrote the book, and it came out as Red's Revenge. And then they would let me advertise it. So that's how I get along. I write about 250 words a minute. So it's not a real fast project. So you
Me,
can see
that's
what,
fast.
yeah, with 140,000 words, it's pretty long. So one of one of my uh, suggestions that people have given me, especially publishers, is that keep it under 100,000 words, please. You
Okay.
can't make 2 novels. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's so much to you, and I want to make sure we're covering everything because
Sure.
let's talk about the series of five novels. Can we go over them? Let's talk what they're about, tell us the names, and then we're going to talk
Oh,
about how you find the story and the writing and reviewing your story and publishing and promoting your book. But yeah, tell us the specific names of the novels and what they're all about.
okay. This one was the first one.
Okay.
Is the Red Bitch's Revenge that they wouldn't let me advertise. And it's a story about, I start my novels with the girls at about age 12
Okay.
because that's when they go from being um, mama's girl to being their own girl. They may say yes to mama and do what they want. So, so that's the way that book got started for Love and Revenge. And then Love Red's Revenge was a rewrite of Red Bitch's Revenge. And that was both of those novels are about a young girl living in Atlanta. And her mother starts her off on, her mother was a judo specialist. You know, she was really
Okay.
good at it. So she trains her two bigger brothers and her
Mm-hmm.
to be judo and to do
Okay.
karate and stuff like that. And then um, further on in the book, she sees her mother killed by
Oh,
um, like two people from the cartel, and so she goes after them.
oh my.
So during the day, she goes to school, and at night she goes down to the south side of Atlanta and hunts the bad guys, hunts and kills the bad guys. So that's basically what she's doing, and that's to get revenge for her mother. So that's where the love and revenge comes in for the series. Is they don't go out to get revenge without having a reason, and that reason is somebody they love or killed. So that's the way that one was. Then after those, the next one, oh, and how did I come up with that?
Oh,
I
tell us,
have
tell us.
no idea. I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I don't even know where these books go when I start. I just start writing a short story and then it turns into a novel. And I don't even know, sometimes I don't even know where the next chapter is going. So,
Wow.
so it just comes out of my head. Probably why it takes me so long to write them is because they're just coming out of my head. And when I try to take a time off every hour when I'm writing, just like 5, 10 minutes while I'm writing so that I can get away from it so I can then go back and see what I wrote and do some more writing. A lot of changes going on. So then the book after that was
Was
Angel the Assassin.
okay.
Okay. So Angel is she is a marksman. She lived in Southern California, Newport Beach,
Mm-hmm.
California. I
Beautiful.
moved, these are different places I've lived at different
Okay.
times, so I can remember what I
Yeah.
as I visit. So Angel's father taught her to be a sniper. There was a next to the hills. This guy has a ranch where ex-snipers from different wars and stuff came in and just to shoot because they don't shoot people, they shoot targets. You know, a sniper in real life doesn't shoot at people, he shoots at targets, otherwise he could kill it. And so that's what it's about. So they're there shooting at targets. And she becomes an expert marksman. Or he is a he. And part of the reason her father's taking him
Okay.
to the ranch is because she's spending time being dressed as a girl. So she's going between girl and boy. So that's why he takes her to the sniper range is for her to become more manly. It
Okay.
didn't work. She became more feminine, but a great shot because women can be
Mm,
great assassins as well. But he is killed by the cartel. He's in the Coast Guard, and they kill him. So at 16, she drives up to prison in California, north of Los Angeles, and she assassinates from a long distance away one of the cartel higher members who was in prison. So she assassinates
Okay.
him. They they get the information. The CIA gets the information, and then talk her into joining the CIA to go around the world being assassins. But they want to keep her secret, so they
Ooh.
call her Angel instead of her real name. And so they don't let her real name out there. It's just Angel. Well, I've been to 62 countries. So with this one, I could take her to different countries. And she lives as a woman, assassinates as a man, and escapes as a woman. So they can't catch her. So that but somebody is after her, and she is trying to find out who before they kill her.
Ah,
And so that becomes the last half of the book's sub story in there for that one. So Angel was fun. It's 130,000 words, so it's another long book. Then I got talked into doing smaller books, and that one was Cynthia the Enforcer. And Cynthia the Enforcer is a bad girl.
ooh.
So she works for the cartel, but she's an enforcer for the cartel because the cartel cheat people, but people in the cartel can't cheat the cartel.
Yeah.
So she is the enforcer for the cartel, keeping everybody everybody straight. She kills anybody who's cheating. And she lives in Chicago. So this is a Chicago area book. I lived there too at one time. So a lot of the things, a lot of the streets and things and places I've talked about my books is because I've been there. I could actually remember things. In Angel, she does a stint in Amsterdam, and I know the streets by heart in Amsterdam. I've been there so many
Wow.
times, so I didn't have to look at a map or anything. I knew where everything was, and I just put it down. And places in Europe and in Asia as well. So that one came out. Then the next one in the series, the one that just came out in November, is A Woman's Vengeance. And she is she is again, she's a samurai sword expert. And again, her mother is killed. And so she and her father take over an art gallery. And she goes out after the bad guys again, which is a cartel, but she goes all over the Southeast. She's in Atlanta, but she goes all over the Southeast, all the way up to New York and out to New Orleans. New Orleans. I used to live in New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans. So that's one of
Wow.
the places. So that's the series. The one I'm working on now
Wow.
is called A Wild Woman's Vengeance.
Ooh. Ooh, what's that about? I like this.
Yes, she is. This is what I'm writing now. She was, well, basically, it's a follow on from a woman's, from Cynthia the Enforcer, because Cynthia the Enforcer is killed.
Yeah.
But the first spirit comes back, and her second spirit, because she's got nine different lives. So her
Okay.
second, she's born to a deformed 12-year-old girl in Mexico City in the back of a church, and
Wow.
nobody. So the church brings her in and treats her as one of their own. And this
Ooh.
is a church in Mexico City.
Okay.
So she, at 12, she is, they're attempting to rape her at 12. So the sisters and fathers try to find somebody who can replace them. So she is the, again, from Cynthia the Enforcer, her friend was Ashley. Well, Ashley comes down to Mexico City. All these books tie together. If you read one and you read another one, you don't have to read them in order. There's no reason to read them in order. because they each carry their own thing. But when you're reading the book, you go, "Oh, I remember that," if you read the other book, one of the other books. So Ashley comes down from southern Wisconsin
Okay.
and picks her up at 12 and takes her back up to Wisconsin and adopts her. So she becomes her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And as her daughter, she is now sent to karate classes and stuff, um, to keep her brain busy and things like that. So, and but she eventually gets, for reasons that's in the book, she gets captured by the cartel or the Russians,
Oh
the
my
Russian
gosh.
mafia. So we switched from the cartel to the Russian mafia. So she is actually, I was an attorney for the cartel,
Okay.
retired. So the Russian mafia come in, they end up kidnapping her and taking her up to Canada. She is, they're trying to rape her in this helicopter.
Okay.
So she kicks open the door of the helicopter, rolls the guy out into the forest, and naked jumps out into a lake. So the next 3 or 4 chapters, 5 chapters,
Wow.
is of her surviving on her own from a naked start in the forest of northern Canada, and she does that for 2 years. She's
Okay.
16 out, so she does. She can shoot really well a bow and arrow. So
Ooh.
she's a bow and arrow expert. She finds a bow and arrow in a small cabin she finds next to a lake that she's living in. So she shoots her bad guys, steals their trucks, and heads down to the States.
Okay.
So she is now in the process, because I'm still writing the book. She's in the process of
Amazing.
getting back to her house in uh, that Ashley had. So she's in
Wow.
the business of that now. So that's where I am.
Oh
So
my goodness, what a story. Okay, there's so much to you, and there's still so much more to talk about. And boy, we only have 8 minutes left. This is great. Just remind our audience how we can contact you in the meantime, please.
oh, you can contact me. Um, you can contact me on my website,
Mm-hmm.
Jane at booksbyjaneblee.com.
Wow.
That's how you can contact me. And my
Oh,
books are available on Amazon and every place. One of my different books, different subject, is Scratches and Kisses. It
ooh.
is my it is my artwork and poetry. It's just artwork and poetry. That's all that is. And it's came out in July and it's selling very well. People love the poems. I have people calling me up and saying they're crying. They
Ah,
read the book and they cry. I've had people sit at bars and talk
wow.
cry at it. So they can reach me at Jane at booksbyjaneblee.com. My books are available on Amazon. All the books except for the poems are in hardback, paperback, ebooks, Kindle, and Audible. So they can get them any way that's comfortable for them. Um,
Beautiful. All right. Well, we still have more time to talk. Did you want to discuss more about the writing, the process of publishing, writing? What did you have in mind?
when I started writing, I'm I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and so all these books are about LGBT characters, except for the poetry book.
Okay.
So the characters are either transgender or they're lesbians.
Okay.
So those are those are the protagonists, the first ones in the
Ooh.
leader in each of the book. But then there's some gay people in there too, but it's mostly straight people. It's not about being LGBTQ. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
being that. They lead normal lives. They have normal, well, for adventurers, for killers, they live a normal life and everything. So it's trying to portray them as normal people, and give them a voice to the community. So that's what it's there for. That's why I probably wrote Red Bitch's Revenge. She's a
I
lesbian.
Love it. This is amazing work you're doing. So exciting. Oh my gosh. So, and
This
but
was,
the work you do, so also with the day job, you became a writer. I see, I wasn't sure if you were just a
yes.
writer, but oh my gosh, and patents and how smart. So, what are you working on now? What is a day in the life of with you?
Oh, well, right now, my business is I have a small environmental laboratory where people send me bags of gases and I do the analysis on the gases.
Wow.
So I do that, as part of my business. I do have Airbnbs and do that too. And then it's mostly writing and marketing and taking care of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's mostly that and traveling.
I know. I love traveling. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Anywhere good recently? Where are you going? Anywhere?
Well, I just came from a convention in Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So that was pretty good. I love the convention there. So I just did that one for the third time. I'm going down to Knoxville or down to Nashville for Killer Nashville. And
What's Killer Nashville? What's that? What's that?
that is a conference just for writers.
Oh, wow.
So we spend 4 days mingling with each other, talking about writing, running conferences, having great meals and contests, and people reading our books and stuff like that. It's pretty good. And there's some awards. And I was their keynote speaker last year, so going again.
Congratulations. Nashville's one of my favorite spots. I used to have a condo down there, and my plan was to
Oh,
move down there and work for CMT or GAC. Then I had kids, and it never happened.
I know.
Yeah.
I had my kids when I was young, 18 and 20, so they're all
Oh,
grown.
God bless. Yeah, I'm 46. I started late. And oh my goodness. And where are they in the business at all? Do you mind me asking?
No, they've got their separate lives. Um, my son is a master chef in California,
Wow.
and my daughter married a multimillionaire.
Good for
Took her two
her.
tries, but she got the multimillionaire, so she did great. So she's doing good.
And
She
she's
also
happy.
has, yeah, she
Don't
has
tell me grandchildren.
yeah, got a grandson, Colt. Colt is 12 years old now, so that's great. Colleen has a PhD in psychology, I think it is. So my daughter's Colleen.
Oh,
So so she's got a PhD in psychology. So that's good.
beautiful.
She donates a lot of her time to the community,
Oh,
to her community.
you must be so proud.
I
Wow.
certainly,
Well, what
I
else is
certainly,
left on the agenda? So you're working on the other work now, right? And oh gosh, we're almost out of time. We have 2 minutes left. So we have to kind of sum it up. I'm sorry.
well, that's all right.
How how did you
That's all
want to
right.
end off for today?
Um, I don't know, just read my books and let me know what you think about them. You can let me know on my email site. You can email me,
Perfect.
or you can even call me if you want to. And it's okay if I give my telephone number. Is that a good idea?
Absolutely. Yes. Phone number, social media pages, anything that you think is important. Yes, absolutely.
Well, my phone number is 786-494-3234. And I'm Jane B. Lee.
Thank you so much, Jane B. Lee. We appreciate your time. Excited getting to know you today, and congratulations on all your success and continued success. I hope we get
I
to
hope
speak
so.
again and again.
I hope
Wow.
so too.
Thank you
I
so
hope so too.
much.
This was fun.
It
This was really
was.
fun. I've been
Oh,
looking forward to it for 2 weeks now. So
well, we are excited. Are you coming back, by the way? Just curious, do you have any more shows with us or?
this was the experiment show to see how
Okay.
this goes.
Well, and moving forward, in case we do work together again, feel free to share your screen if you want to show us some of your books, some of your excerpts. We
Yeah.
can read some. I would love to hear more about them. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you,
You have a
Jane.
wonderful, wonderful and safe
You're a
day.
doll. Thank you so much. And to all of our listeners and viewers, please stay tuned. More of the shows coming up after the break.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.